United are definitely, I would say, favourites to finish inside these Champions League spots.
So for Sesko to get that goal and for United to win, that's the mentality mindset shift that Carrick's brought in, I think.
The next sort of 4 games are quite favourable. It's difficult after that, but the next 4, if you can pick up a good amount of points there.
Kind of Arsenal, City and Villa, it feels like those 3 are going to be taking the top 3. I wouldn't say that with as much confidence now. Like there's a chance that Villa could have a bit of a fumble.
I would have considered him for 30 mil. And the reason why I tell you, well, reason why is because I just think...
Yes, everybody, how are we doing? Sam here, with Nick, with Dan. 3 guys, 3 wins, 3 in a row for Carrick. 21's not coming, but look, we're going to be running through the game itself. We're going to speak about that performance from Casemiro. We're going to speak about that Fergie time winner from Sesko. I suppose we didn't make it easy for ourselves towards the end of that game, but United... overall, I think pretty damn good against Fulham. Some concerns, I suppose, that we conceded to. But anyway, we're going to run through everything. Nick, I'm coming straight to you, mate. Come on.
Mate, like, it was so... Going from being 2-0 up to the Kevin goal, that was such a nice goal as well. It felt so deflating. But then when Bruno just lets it run, and that goes through Calvin Bassey's legs, by the way. That's a nutmeg, by the way. And the first time pass, the Sesko winner, it's just, it all feels a bit cozy and warm being a United fan again. It's been a good last few weeks. You know what I mean?
Cozy and warm. That's exactly how I would describe my Sunday night vibes. Dan, you went to the game. I think it's probably important for us to, before we speak about the game, and we will. Dan, you were at the protest today. How was it on the ground?
Yeah, it was good. A lot of numbers. I'm not too sure how many numbers we've got or what's been reported, but there was a lot of people there. And obviously I was doing socials on Instagram for UPTV, which was great. And just the general support. There was a lot of more clown masks this time around, obviously, which was good to see. But I quite liked how it started from Matt Busby Way and also Hotel Football, and they met in the middle. I felt like that was quite powerful. And a lot of content creators out there that I saw. So a huge support definitely for that protest. What did annoy me a little bit afterwards was obviously the megastore started to close down when everyone was protesting on the forecourt. And then I'm walking outside the ground afterwards, the megastore's back open, and so many people that there's like huge lines. And it makes me think, I don't know, it makes me think it's just not a shame, but like, how much did that protest do? Is if I'm going to put it into perspective like that.
It's hard when United are such a big club and you've got fans coming from all around the world who don't do this on a regular basis. And so for their own sort of self-wants, they're always going to still want to, go in the club shop, buy a few things, which is frustrating. But yeah, it goes back to United just being such a big club, and it's just really hard to... I mean, you can still hammer the message home, but then the United fans still want to kind of do what they were planning to do with their day and sort of travelling to Old Trafford. I do get that frustration, though, yeah.
Yeah, so, Dan, do you know if there's going to be another protest? Has there been anything planned after Fulham?
I've not heard of anything and no one said anything. Whether that'll happen in this season, I don't know. Most likely probably next season or at the start of next season. It depends what Ratcliffe and the Glazers decide to do over that time and whether we have more redundancies or not. So it's just a matter of just waiting to see what happens, really.
And I think also just important to say that they were all peaceful protests. There was no trouble of any sorts, which is what you want to see every single time.
You need that, otherwise the whole narrative gets completely and utterly flipped. But for the game itself... He's just, mate, he's won 3 on the spin. Amram only did that once at United, and Carrick's managed to do that in his first 3 games. I think it's probably best that we focus on the overall feeling before we start speaking about individuals. But Nick, I don't think it was really the low block that we maybe thought that there could have been from Fulham. I thought they were pretty expansive. I thought the first half, United, it felt kind of measured. I don't think we played incredible, but we were 1-0 in. One in half-time, 1-0 up. And that second half, it felt like we allowed Fulham into it a little bit, but then that goal from Cunha was just kind of out of nowhere. And then obviously we'll speak about the rest. But Mate, are we top 4 favourites now?
I mean, Villa lost today, which is huge.
Mate, they lost. Mate, they were playing against 10 men for like an hour.
Yeah, they produced lots of chances, they just couldn't take them. So yeah, Villa dropped points today. Man City dropped points. Chelsea almost did against the Hammers. I mean, they went 2-0 down. We should be. I think we're in and around favourites. Yeah, because especially when you consider that we have no European football. The next sort of 4 games are quite favourable. It's difficult after that, but the next 4, if you can pick up a good amount of points there, and hope that the clubs in and around you keep dropping points, which the last few months tells us that they are going to keep dropping points. So I don't see any reason why we can't be top 4 favourites. And I would like to be top 4 favourites in a way of which it's not getting down to the last 2 game weeks, whether or not we get in there. I want to just be comfortably in there. I don't want to finish 5th. We're at a point of strength now. And you see the way Cunha's playing, the way Mbeumo's playing, Bruno, we're scoring lots of goals now as well. So for me, I don't see any reason why we can't be and shouldn't be top 4 favourites.
Like you mentioned it there, I'm pretty sure that we have now scored as many goals this season as we did in the whole of last season. So 44 goals, I think we've scored. We've now got. I know. Sit down. You're about to shit yourselves. We've got a +8 goal. We've got a +8 goal difference, people.
No way.
What?
No way.
Mate, come on. Seriously though, it's gone better than we could have expected for Carrick. I'm delighted for him as well. I think Fulham were. Would you say Fulham were harder than you expected them to be there, Dan? Or would you say, I suppose they were 7th going into the game, so Fulham have had quite a decent season.
Yeah, I mean, they drew against Brighton, didn't they, before they played us? Obviously, we lost to Brighton in the FA Cup a couple of weeks back, unfortunately, obviously. But anyway, Fulham, yeah, they were good, don't get me wrong, but they didn't take me away like from how far they are up in the table. The way that they performed, and it didn't really suit what their position in the table is. And yeah, they had a bit of threat on the counter with obviously Kevin's goal, but from out of nowhere they just got 2 goals, and I was thinking, is this
what worldie that was? Fuck's sake! I was like, oh,
and I was like, is this similar to what happened so many times last season, kicking in again against these type of teams? So for Sesko to get that goal and for United to win, that's the mentality mindset shift that Carrick's brought in, I think.
Mate, I bloody told you. I said, look, we've got against City, right? We've got that counter-attacking goal. Against Arsenal, we got that crossbar in. I said we're going to get a last-minute winner against Fulham. I suppose technically it wasn't last-minute winner because there was bloody 11 minutes of fucking stoppage time this time. That was ridiculous. Who cares? Sesko, can we just have a little moment here for Sesko? Because if you're looking at the last few weeks for him, since Carrick's come in, he was dropped for the last 3 games, hasn't started. And in the same way that Cunha has come off the bench against City and got an assist, come off the bench against Arsenal, got the winner, started there today and got the goal. Sesko has come off the bench and scored that winner. And that's now 2 consecutive games where United have had winners scored by subs. And the first 2 times this season that subs have scored a bloody goal for us in the league. Like, Nick, for Sesko, how big a moment do you reckon that is going to be? I don't particularly think he needed that to be a springboard. Like, he scored 3 and 2 prior to Carrick coming in. So it's been a great response from him to, I suppose, not be frustrated and to deliver. And what was a great winner.
Yeah, and it should serve as a massive confidence boost for him. I think the commentator said when Sesko came on, the commentator actually said that all of Sesko's goals for United thus far had been when he started. So he actually hadn't scored when coming on as a sub. So that was a first good thing to get done, and to win it late at Old Trafford is always something special. What I was especially happy with is that I'd seen him do this touch and turn and shoot quite a few times, and it's a skill that I think is really good because it's something that's really, really repeatable. Like, you can do that from receiving it back to goal. You can do it at an angle. It's such a good skill to have up your sleeve. And he'd done it a few times, but he just hadn't caught the shot quite right every single time. But he caught that so sweet. It was top bins, keeper didn't move. And I don't know who the Fulham defender was, but he kind of accidentally used the Fulham defender as a screen so the keeper couldn't get anything on it anyway, couldn't see it. So massive, massive goal for him. And also on that goal, Bruno Fernandes, I know I said it earlier, but my word, man, that turn, he dropped, what's his name, Calvin Bassey, and nutmegged him as well. See you later. And actually, Bruno, I didn't think Bruno was having an especially good game. I actually thought Sanderberger physically outdone him quite a few times and dispossessed him quite a few times. But he just shows you what he's about with those 2 assists there. And he's now on 12 assists. The record is 20.
He's definitely taking, mate. He's taking. Well, how many games you got left? We got 15.
14. 15?
15?
14. He could. You just need to hope that it doesn't dry up at any point. But if he continues going at the rate that he is going, there's no reason why he can't get there. And that would be a massive record for him to break. And also, like, I feel like what's nice about Bruno is, like, rival fans are finally starting to give in. I feel like they've been trying to fight it for so long, and they've given up now because he is that good.
Mate, he is a joke of a player, and I'll be honest, it was kind of a joke of a performance from Casemiro. He was kind of. It felt like he was almost actively taking the piss out of Fulham at certain points. He got a standing ovation when he went off, but from the header to the no-look pass to he was spraying 40, 50-yard balls. The tackles were there. It was kind of just pretty much a complete performance, Dan, from Casemiro. Even Carragher after it was finally going, well, maybe the football hasn't quite left him yet, or whatever he said. It's been fantastic seeing him, how he is. We've spoken about him quite a few times. That's probably his best performance of the season. Mate, that no-look pass. Oh, mate. It was so good.
I just miss, like, I think those are the performances that we'll look back on with Casemiro and go, what a player. Like, we need him for moments like that, especially on set pieces as well.
Mate, I'll
definitely look back on that game.
He's a cheat code from set pieces. Now, headed at the back post.
He's so good, and for how old he is now and all the criticism that he probably got last year and year before, he's just bounced back straight away like a top professional does. And that bond between him and Carrick is really telling, I think.
Mate, and it's working. That partnership is working, Nick. And Casemiro and Maynard. Look, Amram's looking pretty foolish on this one. I can't lie. Like, Amram always consistently said, and I felt like that. I felt like Kobe was competing for Bruno's spot, but he's showing alongside Casemiro that very much they can play in a midfield two together. We'll speak about Kobe in a little bit now, but mate, from a replacing Casemiro conversation, like Elliot Anderson will be, if United can get their main man, we're going to sign Elliot Anderson, right? And he's going to have a lot to the game, but there's going to be elements that Casemiro has that Elliot Anderson won't be able to replace. I don't really know. It's a tough job. When you see Casemiro like this, you have to go. I think we've spoken about this before. Add it to the list of like Schweinsteiger, maybe Varane as well. Players I wished United were able to sign a little bit earlier because, Casemiro's looking fantastic right now.
Yeah, Uncle Casemiro's farewell tour is going very well indeed. Look, yeah, when he has games like this, don't get me wrong, there was a time where performances that had dipped, and we can't sort of ignore that did happen, and the wages were ultimately far too much, which is why I think him leaving in the summer does make sense, because financially doesn't quite add up. But when he has performances like these, it reminds me of his first season, like how good he was in his first season, that Erik ten Hag season. He was unreal that season. So to directly replace him, it's going to be tricky. You're not going to get someone who's got the same mentality as him. You're not going to get someone who, when he's on it, he can be so good. And you talk about those set pieces there. You're not gonna quite find someone who's got that. What you are going to get is someone with better, different traits. You talk about an Elliot Anderson, for example, which would be an unreal signing if we can get him. Where he probably levels up on Casemiro is those physical duels. In terms of he just gets about more and wins the ball back a little bit more than Casemiro does right now. But then on the flip side, I don't think Elliot Anderson is as good on the ball as a Casemiro. So you're not going to directly replace him, but you're going to have to find solutions in whoever comes in, whether that be an Elliot Anderson, whether that be a Baleba, whoever it is. But I do love him, and he feels like one of those players who I think one of the socials guys actually posted this when they said that Casemiro is going to be one of those guys that, like, in 5 years' time is still posting pictures of him watching the United game and cheering United on. He's got that about him.
At some point, I need to see, like, a barbecue round Varane's house, and it's like Casemiro, Schweinsteiger, and Varane all just watching the game together. I need that picture in my life.
Yeah, they're all three of them. Yeah.
Get Ever in there as well.
Look, as I said, there's probably more individuals I want to speak about, and Cunha again in that game. I think for Cunha, a few games ago, you could just, was it Burnley? I can't remember if it was Burnley. It's just a certain game that stands out. I think it was Burnley, where he was just, it felt like he was trying too hard to simply score. So like left, right, and centre, just like pop a shot from anywhere, do anything to simply try and find the back of the net. Because I think Cunha himself, while he might have been listening to people saying, because all of us fans really, and even if he wasn't scoring, we all felt like he was actually really contributing to the team and making us a better team. But I think for Cunha, he wanted to be the main man. He wanted to be the man putting the winner in, and he's got that against Arsenal. That finish, I did not think that was going in. Like it was a great pass from Casemiro, but I was like, what? How's he done that? It was a class finish from Cunha, and I think that is now between Cunha and Bruno and Sesko. I think that's 19 goals from them in the league combined. Like Dan, have a little guess, right? What do you think that number's going to be at the end of the season?
That number. Ooh, so we've got 14 games left. Ooh, I'm looking at the 36 to 38 mark.
So doubling what they've got now with 14 to go. What do you reckon, Nick?
If they will stay fit, I don't see any reason why they can't. Like Sesko was injured for quite a bit, Cunha's been injured for quite a bit, and Boma's been at AFCON. So if they're available and fit for all those 14 games, something like that sounds about right.
It feels good to be having goals from multiple sources, and as when I spoke about Cunha, I felt like Cunha finding the back of the net, and Mbeumo was allowing Sesko to sort of operate in quite quietly, you know, because he maybe hasn't been scoring. Oh, I'm saying that he had 3 and 2 prior to it. Oh, it's just good, man. It's just overall, mate. Do you remember where we were a month ago? Like, do you remember the feeling around the entire bloody football club? It is ridiculous how quickly things can actually change. Because we all know, we're all patient. Like, geez, we are the kings of patience. We know that, you know, a Premier League title push is going to be still some way off. But the turnaround has been spectacular, really, from Carrick. And good news, Thomas Frank got a little cheeky point. So Spurs won't be getting a new manager bounce. Come on, we'll take that. Are we away next?
Yeah.
Are we playing Spurs away?
No, we're at home.
We're at home.
Saturday, early kickoff. I've got a good. I feel quite fine. But I think everything you said about Carrick there is so spot on. The only moments today that there were two things that annoyed me a little bit in today's performance. There was the press in the first half. I don't know if you guys noticed this as well. The press in the first half was a different shape than it was against Arsenal, Man City in the first half. It wasn't the same 4-4-2 press. And Fulham played out quite a few times. They didn't do anything with it, but they did beat our press quite a few times. And also a bit of credit to Fulham because they are good at they can play ball. And the other thing was just like in the second half, just allowing Fulham to build momentum. And again, they didn't do anything with it for a lot of it. But that did annoy me a little bit, that I just felt like, can we just get on the ball a bit more and keep it and just stop Fulham? But no, I think you're spot on. Like Carrick, it's just, and you said this yourself in the past, but it's just been simple tweaks, simple changes, putting players where they want to play and just allowing them to kind of do what it is they need to do. Like over the last 3 games, I can't really throw criticism at any one of Man United's players. Everyone's sort of leveled up, and that is to Michael Carrick's credit.
I'm trying to think. No one's really had a bad. I suppose there are players who have played better than others, but I wouldn't say there's anybody that's had a particularly bad.
Even Delo's been performing.
Yeah, right. Bloody hell. Paul, I do feel a little bit sorry for him, but
yeah, I think he gets. I think the performances are kind of like. Not that he warrants the criticism that he gets, a little bit. It's just, he does weird things, Delo.
It's like, so I saw Delo bring the ball down today. The ball was so high up in the air, he brings it down, and it's so nice, and everyone claps him, and like, Delo's just done that. And the next minute, he's got the ball, tries to pass it across the back 4, and it gets intercepted. And Fulham are on the break, I'm like, oh, that is so Delo.
Yeah.
That is so Delo.
He does that. He does that. He does that. Or he'll make a phenomenal run. And you've seen this. How many times have you seen him make an unreal run? This is a right back, make an unreal run behind the defense's back line, touch the ball down perfectly, and the next thing he does is like, oh, I don't know, what are we doing? What are you doing? He does that so much. He's such a weird player like that. But even he's been good the last three. So yeah.
The inclusion of Cobby, right? I think, was that his best performance, do you think, under Carrick so far? Or do you reckon he was better in the City and Arsenal games, Nick?
City, he was so good. City, he was really good. To be fair, I'd say there's been a level of like consistent performance across those three games. I guess the outstanding stat in the first two games, Man City and Arsenal, was the fact that he covered the most ground out of anyone on the pitch, which just feels unreal. Today was a different performance though, because he kind of he did set the tempo a little bit of the game, you know, and he kind of he was spraying passes probably a bit more than we've ever seen, and that is also partly down to instruction, because it's not Bruno dropping deep to get the ball, it's Cobby in those positions dropping deep and spraying those passes. So I'd say a more mature performance today than anything else. He did get sucked in a little bit for when Fulham won their penalty, which positional awareness there could have been a little bit better to know that there's a man behind you. If I'm being really critical, maybe a small detail like that, but that's going to happen. He's young, that's going to happen. But a mature performance today, for sure.
Yeah, I think what you pointed out there was the thing that stuck in my mind, was a spray to make that pull that he needed it to Bruno. That little dink over the top, and then Bruno just, it was like a lovely little through ball, lofted through ball, and Bruno was a couple of yards off it. But it's working really well as a partnership between Casemiro and Mainu, and up against the most physical midfields really in the league, in City and Arsenal. So, who's playing in midfield for Spurs these days anyway?
Spurs, for example, today, to be fair, they actually played a back three, so there's only two in midfield of Basuma and Gallagher, and then Javi Simons kind of in a number 10 free-ish role ahead of them.
Has Gallagher been starting every game since he joined them?
Yes. Yeah. I think he looks all right. I'm actually I like Conor Gallagher. I think he's a little bit underrated.
All right, what would you have signed him for 40 mil?
Was it 40 mil? On what, like 40?
I think I swear it was 40 mil.
I would have considered him for 30 mil, and the reason why is because I just think he might not be your starter, but we're gonna need a few more bodies in the midfield come summer, and I think you could do a lot worse than Conor Gallagher as being that sort of fourth option in the midfield. I think you could do a lot worse. I think that last season he was at Chelsea before he got his Atletico move. I think he was actually quite good in that season. So I would have considered it maybe. But yeah, there's a bit of physicality there with Spurs, but I'm not overly worried.
I suppose we'll preview the Spurs game in the pod that we do midweek, right? So we'll focus on this. But what are our next 5 games?
Yeah, Spurs, West Ham, Everton, Palace, Newcastle.
I mean, that is a damn it, I'm not going to do it again because I've done this before. I've done this before. Oh, look, we're playing Wolves and Everton. Oh, yeah, good. Oh, bloody hell.
Going back to December.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
It's tough in one sense, though, that we've got 3 away games that come on a Tuesday, West Ham, Monday, Everton, and Newcastle on a Wednesday. That's pretty grim.
Proper 8:15 against Newcastle, isn't it?
Yeah. And West Ham.
Man, we've had some nasty kickoff times and nasty TV dates. Properly done us dirty. Mate, VAR, man. What is this? It's supposed to be semi-automated, right? That offside. Took 4 minutes. 5 minutes? I don't even know how long.
We're in the stadium, got no commentary, obviously, and no one's telling us anything. And we can't see a screen. All we can see is just on the scoreboard, VAR checking. And it's like, it needs to improve. This can't carry on like this. It needs to be a lot quicker. I look at other sports like rugby, and it's so much quicker than football.
Do you think that, Nick, do you think there's any chance that VAR gets scrapped at any point?
No, I don't think so. I think it's here to stay. And I just think, I think it's being done better in other leagues. I think in the Champions League, it's done quite well. When in the World Cup, in the past, it's been done well. So I personally don't think it's going anywhere. I don't think anyway.
So is it just the officiating, you'd say, in England where it's faulty and why it's not working to the best?
the concept of it is video assisted refereeing, but it turns out being another bloke in another room taking 7 minutes to make an equally subjective decision. It's just you're just passing, like kicking the can down the road. It's just you're not solving a problem, you're creating another one. But so what's the point? Like, if it's going to be computers, just let it be computers. But if it's just going to be somebody making a decision, just leave it to the bloke on the pitch. Because it's just taking away from the game rather than adding to it, which is the whole concept of what it was supposed to do. It's fucking annoying. Mate. I think I'm just waiting for United to just balls it up. I think I'm not sitting here like I'm a massively pessimistic United fan, but just we're not allowed good things, right? So I'm waiting for. I'm not waiting for the car crash.
You could say the car crash has already happened though, and now we've gone back in and it's getting sorted. The car's getting sorted now, so it's going to be back on the road soon.
Got an MOT,
Europe, hopefully.
It's got some fresh wheels. Mate, did you see Ahmad after the game? He's popping out the dance, mate. That bloke, Paul Cleverley, by the way, you know the one who dropped the Cunha Bruno song. Have you heard the second one on Dorgy Fernandez?
No, I've not heard that yet. Is he actually good one?
Mate, that is a serious Afrobeat jam, man. Go put that on. I swear, this guy's gonna have an album by the end of the season. I'm waiting for this Sesko banger to come out. Have you got any final thoughts on the game? Like, just like the main takeaway that you're gonna have from that Fulham game, Nick?
My main takeaway is that I don't think we played as well as we could have. I think Fulham played better than I was expecting, and we've still scored 3 goals and won. That is signs of a team that can sort of sometimes by hook or by crook or just by the ability to be able to score more goals than your opponent simply because you've got better quality up front, get results. That's what that told me there today, because I don't think we were the better side. I'd say we were on par. It was pretty 50-50 in terms of the performance. And the numbers back that up pretty much. So despite it being a fairly level game, we've come out with the win today. And that's probably my biggest take. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, again, we spoke about this from the Arsenal game. We can say it now for the Fulham game. United were clinical. Like, we took our chances. Well, we obviously didn't score all of them, but Cunha with that finish, Sesko right at the end. These are the sorts of moments that we've kind of let slip before. And again, like this has happened quite a few times this season now. United have come. We've conceded and then we're not let our heads drop, and we've actually turned it around. And to do that at the end of that game was really quite impressive, Dan.
Yeah, definitely at home as well, because I feel like most of them have been away from home. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it was just good to see it at home. And I think the big thing for me is we all came into this Fulham game saying, is it more important? Will it be more important if we beat Fulham than when we beat City and Arsenal? And you could probably come away from it and say, yeah, but then at the same time maybe say no, because we thought they'd set up a little bit differently. But the way that the game went, Fulham obviously had to open up. But it's just the fact that I know in my head that if this was under Amorim, this would be 2-2 and we wouldn't have the same feeling. So the fact that the players got the third goal, I think is massive. And for the European push, I think it's huge.
Mate, I look at that table now and I'm thinking, Chelsea looking pretty good-ish. I mean, they're still, they're the second informed team in the league behind us. I think Liverpool are capable of probably having a pretty good end to the season compared to the turmoil that they've had. I don't think that's unfeasible. But United are definitely, I would say, favourites to finish inside these Champions League spots.
What, like, as in the favourite out of everyone?
If you had asked us, if we probably spoke about this, we were like, kind of Arsenal, City and Villa, it feels like those three are going to be taking the top 3. I wouldn't say that with as much confidence now. Like, there's a chance that Villa could have a bit of a fumble.
I think
they
so.
will.
You think they will?
Yeah, injuries to John McGinn, Camara, Watkins will probably be back soon, but those two in midfield, I know they've signed Douglas Luiz, he's a quality player, but 2 key players, they've been outdoing their expected numbers quite a lot, and at some point it kind of feels like that luck might run out. And also, if they push deep in the Europa League, then the squad gets stretched a bit more game time, more minutes in the legs. I do think there might end up being a bit of a drop off towards the end of the season from Villa. I reckon so.
Do you reckon if they do go in the latter stages of the Europa League, do you reckon they prioritise Europa League over the league?
Well, when was the last time Villa won a major trophy? It's been a while. So
they were in a League Cup final against City in 2021, was it? Was that the last final that they were in? And they didn't win it, obviously.
But I can't even remember that.
I'm trying to think.
But
I can't remember that. How the hell
League Cup final, 2021, are you sure?
I think it was it 2021 or was it 2019?
You're making things up again, Dan.
No, all I remember is I think Foden scored and City were playing in a block.
Yeah, maybe. Either way, though, so
man.
Villa haven't won anything for a long, long time. So they could, and also Unai Emery just loves the Europa League. Like Sevilla, Villarreal, you obviously beat us in the final, if you remember that. Well, I guess you'll. Yeah.
Oh, mate, why you do
sorry,
that?
guys.
We're trying to have a good day
Sorry,
here.
guys. Sorry.
Come on, man. Straight with a dagger like that. That was harsh. I'm wounded. But no, yeah, I really do think, like, I really hope that United fans, people shouldn't be now screaming, "Oh, Carrick this, Carrick in, Carrick getting the job." It's just, I don't really want to have that conversation after every game. It shouldn't be a talking point. It's just like things need to be built. Carrick's got 14 games now after 3 he's had to show the sort of development that we want to see from him, and there are still going to have to be quite a bit more of that, like the control. I don't think it was completely there against Fulham. I actually thought in the first half it felt quite measured from United. I think it wasn't spectacular, but I actually thought that we were controlling the game a little bit more than we have in the first 2 games against City and Arsenal, where we really didn't have the ball much. So it was a little bit different, but there's going to have to be more from Carrick, and there will be hurdles, there will be problems, and I suppose today was one of those problems. We were 2-0 up, conceded 2 goals, the subs changed the game, and Carrick's now won 3 on the spin. And we probably are favourites going into that Spurs game, I'm guessing, Nick.
Should be, absolutely, yeah. Like I know Spurs I mean, that second half, I don't know if you guys were seeing the Man City versus Spurs game. That second half could not be more different from how they played in the first half. Like first half against City, they were spineless. Do you know what I mean? And then the second half, they just turned up. So Spurs are a bit of a weird side. You don't know who you're going to get, what you're going to get, but we should absolutely be the favourites. And I think that Thomas Frank will set up to stop us. He won't set up to want to go out and play. I reckon he'll come to Old Trafford and play a 3 at the back. And that kind of tells you how they see the game compared to us, I think.
Look, I'm saying this again, +8 goal difference. +8. Plus, I don't know why I'm celebrating that so much, but it's just I'm not used to it, really. How many goals? We scored 44 now, so we're still 3rd in the league. City have scored 49. Arsenal have scored 46. So we scored 2 less goals than Arsenal have. And they're top.
Yeah. The only problem is we've conceded a lot.
Yeah, I know.
But we don't need to focus about that. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Man.
I'm sorry, but no, you're bang on.
So you're
bang on. And also, 5 of our goals haven't come from own goals. So there's also that.
Yeah, nice. We like that.
Fans.
But look, there's a lot of positives to take from that game. You got a Fergie time winner, as I said, after the 2 goals that we got. And Mbeumo, what would you say about Mbeumo in these last few games? Because today was, well, I suppose in all of them really, kind of playing a false 9 role. What do you see in the long term here? Has Carrick started Mbeumo in this false 9 role for these first 3 games, or is this kind of how we're going to be seeing Mbeumo for the rest of the season? What do you think then?
Well, he operated at Brentford in probably his last 2 years, more so as a striker when Tony left, or as 2 split strikers with Visser. So I think Carrick's seen that and thought, well, if Sesko's not performing to the levels just yet, and he's not going to play Cunha up there, let's try Mbeumo out. And look what's happened, it's worked. So unless he moves him out to the wing again, as Sesko's just scored a winner and put Sesko up front, who does Mbeumo replace? Because Cunha had a good game today. Ahmad had a good game today.
Mate, Ahmad had Anthony Robinson on toast. Mate, he didn't know what to do. It's quite
so it's a big decision for Carrick to make now.
I suppose you've got options. Nick, are you starting Sesko against Spurs?
You know what it is? I just think that the three of the front three that we're starting now, there's so much quality in those three, and you'll see a lot of interchanging between Mbomo and Cunha. So there'll be moments where Cunha will be more central and Mbomo will go out to the left. I just think those three are our three best attackers, and just keep your best attackers on the pitch. And then when you've got a Benjamin Sesko who's just come on and done that against Fulham, if you need a goal against Spurs, then you bring him on. He's the youngest out of the three. There should be less pressure on him. Those three that I've just mentioned, they're the ones that should be performing week in, week out. So I would keep it the same, and like today, bring Sesko on with 20 minutes to go.
I think Spurs might bully Sesko as well, their centre halves. I feel like they've got it in them to bully him.
Well, it
Because
depends
that's what
who those centre
Sesko
backs
struggled. Yeah, that's true.
Because Van der Ven's injured and Romero went off at half time today. So it could be Kevin Danso, Draguson, and Paulinho as your back three, which is Dan's face tells you everything about that back three. Stanky indeed.
Thank you. Look, right. We'll speak about the Spurs game in more detail in the next pod, but that's 3 from 3 for Carrick. I think the momentum's it's just going to keep building. The more that he can do this, the more that United can get these sorts of results in and get the wins. And today was a little bit different to City and Arsenal. It was 2-0 to then 2-2 to then a last-minute winner, really, in front of the Stretford end. And that's a big moment for Sesko. And a great game from Cunha, Casemiro. So many positives. Bruno, do you think he's going to get that record? Do you reckon he's going to end the season on 20 assists? Or 21? So he needs, 9 more assists in 14 games?
It's doable.
It's doable.
I'd like to see him, stat pad a little bit against, the lesser sides. Do you know what I mean? We played Burnley twice and Wolves twice. There's Leeds at home. If Leeds have a dip in form.
West Ham away,
maybe. Everton away. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to back him. I've said this a few times now. I think he's the best midfielder in the league right now. And I don't even think it's that close. He's actually
and one in the world.
Ooh, that's
top 5.
Right, yeah.
Top 5.
That's going to be the title.
I don't think it'll be a controversial.
Top 5. I think when you're looking at Pedri and Vitinha, they're also just their quality, aren't they? But top 5, there's a conversation to be had.
Right, let's wrap this one up, ladies and gents. 3 wins on the march. 21 is coming. No, it's not. I'm enjoying it. If you enjoyed the pod, please do leave a 5-star review wherever you're listening to it. And we'll see you midweek for the Spurs preview.